everyone, welcome to the second episode in this series from Ivy and the Inky Butterfly. I haven't really thought of a name for it yet, so we'll just have to go with series. And we have all these leaves to do. I've sharpened all my pencils since yesterday's video with my dowel, so I'm hoping that they're going to behave. So we'll see what happens. I think we'll just start with one and move along really, although I might just do that bit of grass. Now I quite like doing the grass in permanent green. I've now sharpened off the word permanent. So I'm going to just do that first. And then I will know where I'm at, and that perhaps maybe not do the leaves above in a similar colour. Yeah, as I say, I use my dowel to get them all really sharp because this one is a bit small for a dowel, but it did fit. I find if the pencils are a little bit too small, you can push it in with another pencil. It only works for a little while. Okay, so there's the permanent green grass, and let's do something more adventurous. So let's start with the chrome oxide green, oxide of chrome, sorry, which I couldn't use last time because it kept breaking. It actually broke in my dowel, so it is misbehaving. I'm just looking at this leaf. I'm thinking I might go darker at the bottom of each little section and then fade up, just because that's how Johanna has drawn it with those little lines, which to me indicate the shadow. Now I suspect that a lot of you, if you followed my series and coloured along with me on the other page, on the right hand page, have probably finished by now, because I had a look and it's almost 2 years. It was in June 2 years ago when I did that page, so I guess it's July now, but really, you know, sort of just over 2 years since I did it, which is a long time waiting for me to finish a page. So I'm really sorry for those of you who've been waiting and hoping. If that does happen and I'm sort of part way through or something and you want me to finish off, just let me know and I'll have a think, see if I can do it. I'm going to use the leaf green light to finish off I'm going to go right over it all. Yeah, let me know if you want me to do something, and I'll see if I can. I've been a little bit obsessed with Rooms of Wonder with regards to Johanna Basford, and Words of Wonder before that, and 30 Years of Creativity before that, so I think I sort of get a bit carried away with the new books effect is what I'm trying to say, because I like to I know that when a new book comes out and I put out a flip through, a video, a completed book, that sort of thing, everyone gets really excited and I get lots of views, so I know it's something that lots of people like, which is why I do it. I mean, I don't just do videos for views. I know that's the way some channels work. It's probably what we're supposed to do. I do what I'm in the mood for as well, hence this page using the Botanical pencils. Now the blends on that aren't brilliant, so I'm going to come back to my oxide of chrome and do it again. I'm going to make it a lot darker at the bottom and then try and fade it so that it blends in better to that other colour. Just basically layer it over until it looks satisfying to you. So you might find it look fine before. You might not have to add another layer. You know, it's just as I say, how it feels for you. That looks terribly messy. Anyway. Yeah, so yes, do let me know. I've had requests for various things lately. I think I've done everything I've been asked to do. I think I have been asked to do a few things that I didn't feel like I was capable of doing. I'm not being down on myself. It might sound like I am, but I'm going to do the stem. Actually, I'm going to do the stem in oxide of chrome. I just know my limitations, and if someone said to a watercolor artist, could you just do this picture in charcoal, they would be like, no. They might not be, they might be able to do it as well, but you know, it's not their skill set. This raw umber I'm going to use for this. I'm going to make it look a little bit autumnal. I think we did this on the leaf that's this shape on the other page. So I'm trying to put a more intense dollop, because dollop's the right word, at the edge of each leaf and then fade it in. Like that. I'm tempted to put the dead brown on the outside of the leaf, on the edges. That's how I see them when I'm looking at leaves. It's really, really, really useful when you're out and about, observe things. This is the yellow ochre I'm going to use, and then we'll blend it into a green in the middle. Look at leaves, look at trees, look at shadows, look at flowers, look at everything. Look at colours things are, look how the light catches it, all those sorts of things. When I first started colouring, that is something that I did, and it was so beneficial. I found myself doing it without thinking. I was going, oh, that's a pretty berry. And then I looked at it more closely. What colour is it? How's the light catching it? Where's the shine? You know, I can't hold pictures in my head very well, so it was useful to an extent. I'm going to use the old sap green for the middle bit. And I'm actually going to start in the middle and then layer it up and then reduce the layer so I can sort of blend it in. But photographs help me a lot too. If I want to make something look more realistic, I go to my search engine and look at photos so that I can get something that pleases me. You know, nothing has to be realistic. You could be colouring these pink if you wanted, these leaves. Blue, red. I mean, leaves do come in lots of different colours, to be fair. Now, I think I want the stem green. I think I'm going to use the permanent green for the stem. So it's a little bit different. That's the permanent green. We're supposed to be avoiding using that one. That plan didn't work, did it? We're going to go over it. Let's go over it with something. What should we go over it with? Yeah, let's go over it with the raw umber and make it sort of browny green. I think it'll work anyway. It looks a bit too bright. That's better. I like that. That was lucky. I made something I liked. There we go. Now you could go over all that, which I'm going to do, in a terracotta light. No, I'm not going to. I'm going to use a cadmium yellow. I'm going to go over the whole leaf with this to try and blend it up, brighten it, and just bring it together. I wonder how similar what I'm telling you is to how I told you to do the other one. It doesn't look that similar actually to this. 2 years is quite a long time when you colour every day. Things change a lot. There we go. It's quite bright, isn't it now? There we go. Now this long thin leaf, I quite like it to just be one colour. But I don't know if I can carry that off. I'll have a go. I'm grabbing the sap green and giving it a go. I'm thinking next to the stalk it would be darker and then lighter as we go towards the tips of the leaves. So I'm going to put down quite a lot of layers here and then less as we go out towards the edge. Same on the other side. Just keep it really simple. Now I'm trying to think in my head, which I should be doing out loud, so I am, as to whether the stalks of leaves, these bits, are they normally darker or lighter than the leaf or the same colour? I think I'm going to do it darker, just layer it up. If I want to keep it the same colour, that's what I'm going to do. Okay. I'm going to use, I think I'm going to go around the edge of this one. I don't always like doing that, but I'm going to use my viridian, go around the edge. Yeah, I've got loads of leaves in my garden, but none of them have, the stalks are wood, I think. They're really small. I don't know what the tree is. They're very waxy and most of them are dead because they're a few years old. I've been trying to pick them up yesterday. I did quite a good job. I got quite a lot of bags of rubbish. I did some pruning as well. I don't have any secateurs, so I did it with some scissors. Poor tree has been hacked, but it wasn't my tree. I just sort of cut it level with the fence line because it was coming over, and it was okay. One branch wasn't a bit of an apple tree, it had apples on it, so I pushed that back across the fence. I didn't prune it off so that my neighbours can have an apple if they want off their tree. This is the phthalo green light. There are actually 3 in the garden, in my garden. I'm going to make it darker at the bottom and lighten it towards the tip. So yeah, there were 3 apples on the ground in my garden already. So they were teeny weeny, you know, about that big. So not ready for eating. I think they must have probably came down in the hailstorms, and although I'm surprised little critters hadn't eaten them, to be honest, but maybe they were just too sour even for a little rat to eat. I don't know. Oh well, it'd be a mystery. My grammar is getting terrible. My children, they watch these videos, they start talking and don't use proper grammar, and I can just copy them. Okay, now this one, what should we use? Let's use a mix of sap green and phthalo green. Different. So I'm going to use the sap green first. You can hear the pigeons singing. I think they've got a nest. So you see I've made it darker here and faded it here by layering it up and down here, and a bit less here. Dark layer down there. Then I'm going to grab the phthalo green light, the one we used here. I know it's the same colour, and just use it quite lightly. Blend it through into here, all the way to the edge, just to slightly change the colour really of the colour that's there, so we get a new colour. Okay. And our last one, should we do, yeah, we'll use the permanent green for the outside part, again with no name. Now of course you don't have to do leaves green. As I said earlier, you can do them all sorts of, you can do them any colour, but if you look up pictures of leaves you'll find they are most colours. I can't say I've ever seen a blue leaf, but you might prove me wrong. They're a sort of very grey-green, look almost blue, sort of evergreen type foliage. But you can get sort of reds, browns and oranges and yellows, of course, in the autumn, and then you can get sort of burgundy coppery colours. You can get or you can get some that are almost called purple, but I don't think they quite are. What should we do in the middle? Should we go really light? Yeah, let's go really light. So we'll go leaf green light for the middle. I'll try and do what I did in this one, so make it more intense in the tip and a bit less towards the end, but it's quite difficult with such a light one to see that you've actually got some colour down. So I try my best. Now we've got this bit here to do. I'm thinking we'll do something that looks a bit quite different to those two. If we do, oops, if we do the oxide of chrome, it will look different, and just do it on its own because they're little. Okay, now what have we got going on now? We've got a border, a background, we've got toadstools. Let's do these little toadstools next. So of course I want to do them red. Whoops, it's rolling all over the place. I'm going to use the red ochre, it's a little bit more orangey. It's very small. I'm basically going to break the pencil. Now that isn't what you expected to happen, was it? Let's see if I can sharpen it. I might need to use a different one. No, it's broken in the sharpener. Okay. Right, don't use that one. Use your cadmium red. And I'm going to try and fade it towards the centre. But I want it all to have some colour on, not the dots. I'm going to leave the dots white. I could try and colour them with something, but I'm not. If you make them darker on the edges and lighter in the middle, it makes them look more rounded. Okay, the stems, we've only got the one grey, so that's what we're going to use. This is Paynes grey. This actually isn't the Paynes grey from this set. It's identical to it, but I ran it out. I'm trying to make it a little bit darker at the top, but it's so small, you can't really tell. Now I'm thinking these flourishes in the corners, that I'm not going to do them green. They look a little bit leaf-like, but I think I'm not. What I'm going to do is do the background first, and then, should I do it in blue or should I do it in yellow? I'm tempted to do it blue to make it look really different. Cerulean blue light background. It's going to take a little while to do. I don't want it really dark, so I'm just going to do a very light circular motion. Just checking the time, just because I've got my delivery coming. And I was thinking we've got this sort of border to do as well. This little bit, not this outside, but as I said before, I'll have to do something for that at the end. So I'm thinking I might just do the border a darker blue to sort of, you know, help this to work with this blue, so this isn't a standalone blue. And then I'm wondering whether to do these red, those little leaves, because we've got these red here and they're the only little splash of red. Maybe it would make sense to pull that red, but I'm just trying to think about whether it'll work. And when you can't visualize things in your head, it makes it very difficult to know. But I'm sort of pondering as I colour. What would you do? It's no good putting it in the comments. You could, but I won't read it until I finish this whole page. I do read all your comments, by the way, and I try and reply. I reply to most comments. If in an initial comment, if someone says something and I'll say, maybe say thank you. If they reply and say you're welcome, I don't then reply to that. I don't know what you've replied to you're welcome. I used to go and like it, but I don't have the time at the moment to even like it, but I do appreciate it. But I do reply to comments, and if you send me messages as well. However, I sometimes don't see them for ages. I spotted some the other day that were 14 weeks old. So I'm sorry. Yes, if you send me a message on Instagram, I usually see that really quickly. But if you send it to me on Facebook, for some reason, I don't get the notifications properly. I get some, but not all. So I don't know why. If you comment on YouTube, I see it. I check them at least once a day, probably 2 or 3 times. So that's good. I like to, well, apparently if you have lots of interaction with your video, YouTube shows it to more people as a suggested video. So I figure that if I reply to a comment, my reply might also count as an interaction. It might help more people to see it, and that means that, you know, if someone's looking for a video of that type, then they might find me, which is nice, so they can get the help that they might need, you know. I do have a lot of videos. It's got, my statistics got slightly skewed because I'm doing shorts and they are repeats of videos I've done already. Then it suddenly looked like I had loads when they weren't sort of original. But I have been making videos for an awfully long time. I do have over 1,000 original videos. I can count them. This is the ultramarine I'm going to use for the edge. So I'm just going to put it down in a evenish, hardish layer as best to my ability. Ugh, now I'm having a hot flash. Oof. I was reading about it all yesterday, trying to see what you can do to help, but really the only thing that has been medically proven, scientifically proven I should say, to help is HRT. I don't feel I'm ready for that. I think I'm doing okay, but the fact that it said that hot flashes can go on for 7 to 10 years, and quite a lot of women just always have them. I'm like, ugh, does this mean I've got to go the rest of my life with hot flashes? But I'm going to buy a fan, which I think will help me. A hand, just a, not an electric one, just a little hand fan that I can carry around with me and use that. It's not too bad, this one I'm having now. Sometimes I think if you're distracted it helps. So that cadmium red, I'm definitely going to use it for our little corner items. I think they're petals. Oh, I feel like I'm going to sneeze now. I'm going to try and do them a little darker. Let me take my big hand out of the way. And a bit lighter there, if I can. It's a bit darker there. A bit lighter there. Now we've got a repeating picture on this page lower down of 2 flowers, and I've been thinking about that, which is, I'm getting a bit ahead of myself, but you know, that's what I tend to do. And I think I'm not going to do them the same. I'm going to colour them differently because I think otherwise it's going to be a bit dull, and why not? I know on my last version of this I coloured them the same, but I want to do it differently. I was flicking through this book looking for the page to colour that I knew which page I wanted, and I was astounded by how little I've done in this book. But anyway, I'll do a bit more now. So there we go. We'll get this page finished for a start. And I've got the one opposite Ivy that I did on a video that I still need to finish, but I'll get there. Right, that is us for today. Yeah, there's our leafy pattern. I wanted to make them all look different. I think I've achieved that, so that's good. Yeah, so thank you very much for watching. I hope you have a super day and happy colouring.